as an employee, how do you grow your career outside your company? First, I'm a firm believer that my company is not the end. In fact, I know there are better opportunities outside of my company. And the reality is that in order to even get that better opportunities, my team members need to ensure that they are building themselves to excel beyond my company. In the workforce or in the market, the job market, there's what we call ability, the other credibility. Most people have the ability. In fact, they sell themselves. I can do this, I can do that. But a lot of people forget about credibility. Let's take, for example, I run a technology solutions company. We build software, we build websites and do other stuff. So let's say someone comes to me to build a website. I am going to charge them 2 times more than my team member or employee is able to charge them. And that trust is credibility. It took me a while to understand that the market doesn't favor just those who have the ability, which is a skill set. It also favors, in fact, it favors more those who have credibility. And how do you build trust? Being consistent with your ability and also visibility. So, but the question you may then be thinking, how can visibility be achieved? I'll tell you my own story. I grew my agency not by social media. The leads we get based on people who we have worked with in the past, who I have worked with in the past before even starting an agency. And one thing I have realized, which I am sharing with you, visibility is built by telling people what you do. Not what your company does, but what you do. And how you tell them is very, very important. For example, I could have someone as a team member who is a web developer. And someone asks them, what do you do? I work with WP Flats. We build websites. That's good at its own. But if you are to sell yourself properly, you could say, I help businesses establish their online visibility by building websites that impresses their customers and also helps them power their business operations. There is a difference. I'm a firm believer that my team members can actually take projects of their own personal interaction and do it themselves. I had to refer my team member to clients. The reality is that clients do not have the budget to be able to accommodate the company, so that client can pay them because of their budget. But at the same time, they can gain the experience, which also opens door for more visibility. So it's good that once in a while, as an employee, go out there, tell people what you do. Don't tell them what your company does. Tell them what you do and what the benefit is, like the example I have given. And when you do that consistently, what you are doing, you are building, is that you are building credibility. Credibility doesn't take 2, 3, 4 months. It takes as fast 12, 24 months, 36 months, as long as possible. We have had project conversations that did not go through until the 12th month. And there are people who I have told one way or the other, this is what I do. And 2, 3, 4 years later, you reach out to me. Because the reason why a company seems to have more credibility is not just because of the company itself. But at the start, it's the CEO or the COO, the executive behind that company, because people know them, because they've seen them many times delivering consistently. Take social media seriously, especially platforms like LinkedIn. Whatever you do, whatever projects you accomplish, share them. If you did it with someone else as a team, share and perhaps start the team member. This is what we achieved. Always share your reasoning behind what we achieved. Always share how it affects, or rather how it benefited the client. What problem it's solving for the client. When you meet people in conferences, in just casual places, have a discussion, let them know what you do and how it benefits them. And also on social media, share the works you've done and can collaborate with team members to share these things. So please, build your career beyond you. your company. Build your career beyond your company. That even when you leave the company, people will trust you. People will be willing to work with you without any fear. Why? Because they have seen your work consistently. So in other words, ability plus trust plus visibility equals to credibility. So remember, the market doesn't favor those who are just talented, who have the ability. The market favors more of those who have the credibility.